A week before my daughter's birthday, I heard words come out of her mouth that I had never imagined I would hear in my entire life as a mother. The greatest gift would be if you disappeared from this world. Fine then. If that is the gift she wanted, I would give it. I quietly arranged everything, canceled all financial support, withdrew every cent, and vanished from the house I had spent years building with my own hands. But what I left behind on the table before I walked away was what truly shattered her. That evening, the small kitchen in San Jose glowed under the warm yellow light. I stood at the stove, spooning portions of spaghetti onto plates. It had been my daughter's favorite dish since her high school days, and I had always kept the habit of cooking it before her birthday. Beside it sat a tray of freshly baked chocolate chip cookies, their sweet aroma filling the room. I set everything on the table, removed my apron, and looked at her sitting in the chair across the room. I softened my voice. "Eat, the cookies are still warm. I just pulled them out of the oven." Chloe didn't look up, her fingers still tapping at her phone, a faint smirk curling at her lips. "Homemade cookies again, Mom? Who even eats that anymore? My friends all go for pastries from fancy shops, bubble tea from premium brands. You're stuck in the past like some old lady." I pulled out a chair and sat down opposite her. My heart sank, but I forced myself to stay calm. I looked at her for a long moment. Her eyes never left the screen, as if every effort I made was nothing more than a backdrop to her life. Still staring at her phone, Chloe spoke impatiently. "Mom, what are you getting me for my birthday? I need to know soon so I can update my Amazon wishlist for my friends. And don't get me cheap Target clothes or drugstore makeup again, okay?" I drew in a breath, pressed my lips together to steady my voice. "I've prepared a special gift, one that will change a lot of things." She immediately looked up, eyes sparkling as if she had just heard the name of a brand new tech gadget. "Really? It's the iPhone 17 Pro Max, right? Or a Tesla? You have money? I know you do. Show me." I shook my head. This time my voice dropped lower. "No, not something material. I think it's something you need more." Chloe's face darkened, her eyes turned cold, and her voice slipped into mockery. "Oh, let me guess. It's another one of those handmade things you tie up with ribbons. Or one of those boring trips where you force me to take pictures for you. You know what, Mom? Those are things only you enjoy. I'm sick of them. Just stop. Don't fool yourself anymore." I stayed silent. The plate of cookies in front of me was still full, their warmth fading into the quiet of the kitchen. I watched my daughter, memorizing every gesture, every word. My chest tightened, but this time I kept quiet, because I knew the gift I was about to give was nothing she could imagine. Chloe put her phone down on the table, the soft thud sharp enough to tell me her tone was shifting. She looked at me, her voice now laced with challenge. "Do you want to know what the greatest gift would be for me?" I lifted my head, keeping my tone gentle. "Say it." She stood up straight, arms folded across her chest. Her eyes sharpened like blades, her face suddenly cold. I could see clearly that the daughter I had raised was about to deliver words meant to cut. She enunciated each syllable, her mouth curling into a chilling smile. "It would be if you disappeared from this world. My life would be so much easier without you breathing down my neck. Go to school, eat, don't stay up late, that's enough. You suffocate me." I heard every word as if someone had placed a heavy stone on my chest. I looked straight at her, not angry, not crying. My face was calm, like still water. Inside me, the weight of years of pain seemed to come to a close. I spoke slowly, my voice low and steady. "All right then." Chloe frowned, perhaps not believing what she had just heard. "What did you say?" I held her gaze, my voice clear and resolute. 1 week from now, on your birthday, I will disappear. just as you wished." She froze. For the first time during dinner, she could not say a word. The defiance in her eyes gave way to surprise, and I saw a flicker of panic cross her face, but I said nothing more. Chloe stammered, her voice suddenly much smaller. "Mom, what are you saying?" I stood up, carrying the plate of cookies that was still almost untouched. My footsteps toward the kitchen were slow and steady. I did not scold. I did not cry. There was only a silence filling the entire room, heavy enough that it felt as if the house itself was holding its breath with me. I sat alone in the kitchen, holding a cup of cold coffee. The taste was gone, but the bitterness still lingered harshly in my throat. Each sip dragged old memories back with sharper edges. I remembered that night, just like so many others, when I couldn't sleep. The clock on the wall showed 3 a.m, the house still wrapped in darkness, lit only by the dim glow of the hallway lamp. I sat on the chair, my eyes fixed on the door, my heart pounding with each heavy beat. The door opened and Chloe walked in. She wore a glittering short dress, her lips painted a deep red, the faint smell of alcohol clinging to her. I quickly stood up and rushed toward her. "You're home. Are you all right?" I was so worried. She brushed my hand away, her face twisted in annoyance. "Stop being so outdated, Mom. Everyone goes to late-night parties. It's just you making a fuss. You're always worrying, always stressing. It makes you look so old. It's pathetic." I stepped back, trying to keep my voice calm. "Did you drink anything? Are you tired? Let me get you some water." She ignored me, opened her purse, and stared straight at me, her tone part command, part contempt. "Give me money. Tomorrow I need to pitch in for a friend's birthday gift. If I don't, it'll be embarrassing." I hesitated, my fingers tightening around the coffee cup, my eyes filled with both sorrow and love as I looked at her. "But Chloe, I just gave you money for this month." "How did you spend it so quickly?" She spun around, her voice shrill. "Shut up. If you won't give me money, I'll borrow it. And then you'll end up paying my debts anyway. Stop pretending to be so righteous." I stood frozen in the hallway, my heart tightening with pain. In front of me, the little girl I once cradled was growing into someone I could hardly recognize. She slipped off her high heels, tossing them carelessly onto the floor, then slung the heavy designer bag over her shoulder. I asked softly, my voice careful as though afraid of provoking her further. "You're not going to sleep? It's already late." She shot me a glare, her lips curling into a sneer. "Whether I sleep or not is my business. Don't interfere. I'm grown now. You have no right to control me." I said nothing more. Every word of advice stuck in my throat. She brushed past me, flicking her hair to one side before striding straight into her room. The door slammed shut with a dull thud, leaving behind a heavy silence that seemed to smother the entire house. I sank back onto the sofa, the cold cup of coffee still in my hand, my eyes fixed on the door that had just closed. My chest felt weighed down by stone. In the darkness of the night, the ticking of the clock echoed steadily. Her words replayed in my mind, each one a reminder of the growing distance between us. Her nights out, her defiance, the way she demanded money and threw ungrateful words at me had already cut deep. But it did not stop there. Just a few days later, I would be forced to swallow another wound, one far harsher, more merciless, and impossible to ignore. That afternoon, I left work early. On the drive home, I stopped by the mall to pick up some groceries for dinner. Just as I stepped out of the store, I caught sight of a familiar figure walking ahead. Chloe had a brand new Michael Kors bag draped on her arm, her stride graceful, her face glowing with excitement. Beside her was Mark, and next to him, a stylish young woman whose hand rested lightly on his shoulder. The three of them walked together as if they were a family. I froze for a moment, my heart pounding, my hands trembling slightly on the steering wheel. That evening, when Chloe came home, I tried to stay composed. She set the bag down on the table and began pulling out each item, showing them off with pride. I drew in a breath, keeping my voice gentle, as if I were simply making conversation. "You went to the mall with your dad today? That's a nice bag." Chloe glanced at me, smiling brightly, her voice dripping with self-satisfaction. "Yeah, I went with Dad and Tiffany. She's Dad's friend. Her style is amazing, Mom. She told me I need to wear brand name stuff if I want to look cool. Not like the Target clothes you always make me wear. No one notices those." I felt my hands tremble, struggling to keep my voice steady. You know about your dad and that woman, don't you?" Chloe cut me off instantly, her tone sharp, her eyes like knives piercing through me. "Stop pretending to be clueless. So what if Dad has a girlfriend? At least he knows how to enjoy life. You, on the other hand, spend every day buried in work, coming home looking like some tired old woman. Do you really think sacrificing like that makes you noble? Let me tell you the truth. You look like a machine that only knows how to make money, clutching every penny, never letting Dad or me enjoy any of it." I tried to keep my voice steady, but it felt like someone was squeezing my heart. "What are you saying? I have never held on to money for myself. Everything I've done has been for your future." Chloe didn't stop. Her tone sharpened, each word rubbing salt into the wound. "Dad was right. You really are stingy. I can see it clearly. Tiffany pampers me. She understands me. She buys me things, takes me to nice restaurants. She actually knows how to live. You only know how to nag, never how to enjoy anything, never how to make me happy. All you do is work and then act like you're some kind of victim." I stood there, looking at her with eyes heavy with sorrow and exhaustion. In that moment, I realized the gap between us wasn't just about age or habits. It was an entire worldview that had split apart. I turned my face slightly so she wouldn't see the tears welling up. Chloe kept going, her voice confident, almost defiant. "I'm really tired of living in this house. Don't think you can control everything? I feel happier when I'm with Dad and Tiffany. At least with them, I'm free. I don't have to wear cheap clothes you pick out. I don't have to deal with your rules. I don't feel suffocated. You should learn how to live. Stop acting like sacrifice is all that matters." I bit down hard on my lip, still refusing to answer. I heard every word, each one like a cold draft slipping through a crack in the door. In that small room, Chloe's voice echoed like a relentless indictment. That night, I sat frozen after the conversation. Her words about Tiffany, about her father, were like cold blades. I thought I had already reached the bottom of disappointment, that nothing else could hurt me more. But I was wrong. Just the following week, when I came home early, I overheard something that shattered everything completely. That afternoon, I got off work earlier than usual. The late summer sun in California was still harsh, though the breeze had already turned a little cool. I parked outside the gate and stepped quietly into the house. It was silent inside, only the faint hum of the air conditioner filling the space. I planned to go upstairs to change, then head down to the kitchen to prepare dinner. Just as I set my bag on the chair, I heard Chloe's voice drifting from the living room. She was speaking softly, but clear enough, in the kind of tone people use when they think no one is listening. I froze halfway up the stairs, my foot suspended in midair. "Don't worry, Dad. Mom is so gullible. Just act sweet to her for a few days, and she'll hand over the money again." My whole body stiffened, heart pounding in my chest. I pressed myself against the wall, holding my breath. Her voice came again, soft, yet cutting straight into my ears. Yes, I know. I like Tiffany much more than my mom. She's the one who gave me money for this handbag. You're right, Dad. The money Mom earns is ours anyway. This house is under her name, but it's your effort that built it. My palm went cold as I braced against the wall. I listened on, every word slicing into me like a blade. Once I graduate, we'll convince her to sign everything over to me, or just drain the money and kick her out. Then you and Tiffany can move in here if you want. I'd be happier that way. Mom's old already. She can figure out how to survive on her own. I stayed there, my hand trembling so hard I had to clutch the edge of the wall just to keep from collapsing. Every sentence struck like a hammer, exposing the raw truth I had tried so hard to deny. Chloe's voice turned sweeter, like she was coaxing someone on the other end of the line. Don't worry, Dad. I know how to talk to Mom. All I have to do is smile and she melts. She thinks she's smart, but she's actually easy to fool. I'll take care of getting her to transfer the house to my name. Once that's done, everything will be easier for us. I didn't hear anything else after that. The only sound in my head was the pounding of my heart. I leaned back against the wall, eyes fixed on the ceiling, feeling like the whole house was caving in on me. In that moment, I knew I had no other choice. The plan I once considered just a precaution had become something else entirely. It was no longer optional. It was the only way I could survive, the only way I could reclaim ownership of my life. I woke up early. Thin sunlight streamed through the curtains, casting quiet streaks of light across the room. Today was her birthday. I used to hope this day would be a chance for the two of us to have breakfast together, to laugh, maybe just to share a hug. But that was in past years. I changed into a navy pantsuit I'd kept for the most formal occasions. Neat, structured, and also the last one left in the closet after everything else had been packed up yesterday. I stepped out of the room and walked down the familiar hallway. Every framed photo on the wall, every creak in the old wooden floor was so familiar, I didn't even need to look. But this morning, I looked carefully. I wanted to remember everything, because this would be the last time I walked through this house as its owner. I went downstairs to the kitchen. On the table was a thick brown envelope placed next to a single small cupcake. I didn't write a message or stick a candle on it. Beside them were utility bills, electricity, water, internet, all stamped, service canceled. I set my suitcase beside the dining table and sat down to sip my black coffee. My heart beat steadily. Hurried footsteps echoed from the stairs. Chloe rushed down from upstairs, her hair a mess, her face pale. In her hand, the phone screen was still lit. Mom, what the hell did you do? Why can't I withdraw money? My credit card was declined. What did you do to my account? I set my coffee cup down and turned to look at her. My voice was calm, without blame, without anger. Well, you're 18 now. Congratulations on becoming an adult. From now on, you'll take care of yourself. Chloe slammed the phone onto the chair, her eyes wide with a mix of fury and panic. You've lost your mind, haven't you? Do you know the power's about to be cut? The water too. And the Wi-Fi's gone. Today is my birthday. Are you trying to ruin me? Do you even realize I have a spa appointment today? Then dinner with friends? You've destroyed everything. I picked up my suitcase and pulled it gently toward the door. My voice stayed steady, neither louder nor softer. I've canceled every service. Everything tied to me is no longer bound to this house. This is the birthday gift you asked for. I'm gone. Chloe froze for a moment, then screamed, tears streaming down her face, though her voice stayed sharp. You're so selfish. Do you even know what you're doing? You want to abandon me and Dad? You're tearing this family apart over your own pride? I took another step forward, my hand resting on the doorknob. I turned my head to look at her one last time that day. Your dad. Yes, go stay with him. I'm sure he and Tiffany will be more than happy to take care of a grown-up daughter like you. Happy birthday. I opened the door. The air outside rushed in, cool and startlingly fresh. Chloe ran forward a few steps, her voice suddenly cracking like a child left alone in a crowded market. Mom, don't go. You can't go. Come back. I'll tell Dad. He'll fix this. I didn't answer. The door closed behind me. I stood on the front step, breathing in deeply. It was the first breath of freedom in my life, taken in the very place where I had once been imprisoned by family ties, by duty, by everything I mistook for love. Now I knew I had stepped out of everything that had suffocated me for years. I walked down the steps and into another life. As for her, she received the birthday gift exactly as she wished. The only difference was that it was not a simple disappearance, but a departure carried out with intention, with purpose, and with careful preparation. After moving out, I temporarily rented a small apartment on the outskirts of San Jose. It wasn't spacious or fancy, but it was enough for me to sit down, open my laptop, insert the memory card from the hidden kitchen camera, and see what I needed to see. The screen lit up with the familiar image of our kitchen, soft yellow lighting. A chair slightly pulled out. On the table sat the brown envelope I had left earlier that morning. Less than 3 minutes later, Mark walked in. His eyes locked straight onto the dining table, his voice tense. Chloe, come down here. Your mother's gone. I can't reach her. I saw her rushing down the stairs. Her hair was a mess, barefoot, still holding her phone. I called a dozen times. All went straight to voicemail. No replies to my texts. She's turned off everything. Mark's voice hardened. My account's been frozen. My card won't work. The electricity bill hasn't been paid. The Wi-Fi is down. She didn't say anything to you before leaving? Chloe set the phone down, annoyed. No. She disappeared like she vanished into thin air. Left the house, no explanation, nothing. Mark opened the cupboard and flipped through a stack of papers on the kitchen counter. Just this. I watched him pick up the brown envelope. The two of them sat down, silently staring at each other for a moment before Mark tore open the flap. Chloe asked quickly, What is it? Did she leave a letter? Mark didn't answer. He pulled out a few sheets of paper. A small black USB drive fell onto the table. Chloe picked it up and plugged it into the laptop. The screen loaded the first video clip. There was Mark in the recording, sitting in a car. His voice came through loud and clear. Just stay calm. Once Chloe starts college, I'll convince her to put the house in her name instead of Sarah's. Then we kick Sarah out. No asset split. She's so clueless. All she knows is working herself to death for money. I saw Chloe freeze. She turned to Mark, her voice trembling but still sharp. Who were you talking to? Why would you say something like that? Mark pushed the laptop away. His voice was defensive. I don't remember. Maybe I was just talking nonsense. How did your mom even get that clip? Chloe shouted. Don't pretend you don't remember. Now I finally understand why she left like that. The next video clip started playing automatically. It was an audio recording of a phone call between the two of them. Chloe's voice was clear, unmistakable. Don't worry, Dad. Mom's an easy one. All I have to do is act sweet for a few days, and she gives me money again. Mark looked at her, stunned. That was your voice, wasn't it? Chloe panicked. Dad, Mark slammed his hand on the table and pulled out another stack of papers. This is a divorce filing. Hotel receipts. Credit card statements. Your mother's been preparing this for months. Chloe picked up one of the pages, reading each line as her hands began to tremble. petition for divorce. No request for alimony, no division of property, full power of attorney assigned to her lawyer. Mark turned to her. She didn't leave you anything? Chloe pulled out another sheet. She read aloud, her voice steady but low. The only thing I leave you is the gift of growing up. Learn to stand on your own. Don't come looking for me. I watched the two of them sit frozen at the kitchen table. They weren't yelling anymore. Their faces were stiff, silent. I closed the laptop and leaned back into the chair. There was no sense of triumph in me. Just a quiet calm, much like the way I left. But at least now, I knew I hadn't disappeared. I had simply left them exactly what they deserved to face. The phone suddenly rang. I looked at the screen. It was Mark. I pressed the button, set the phone down on the table, and put it on speaker. I wasn't planning to avoid this. Mark's voice came through, tense and furious. Sarah, are you out of your mind? How dare you do all this behind my back? Taking all the money, selling the house, cutting everything off. Who do you think you are? Get back here right now. I demand that you explain yourself. I sat up straight. My voice was steady and cold as ice. Explain? Everything is already in the envelope I left behind. Not a single word missing. Mark, I'm no longer the walking ATM for you and your little girlfriend. From now on, you and that Tiffany you think is so wonderful can figure out how to make your own money. There was silence on the other end for a few seconds. I continued. By the way, those clips and recordings on the USB. I already sent a copy to your boss, another to one of your closest colleagues, and a very complete one to Tiffany's distinguished family. Good luck trying to claw back your reputation. I heard Mark shouting, but the words were no longer clear. Then came the sound of something crashing. Chloe grabbed the phone. Mom, it's me. Please listen to me for a moment. I'm sorry. I know I was wrong. Everything I ever said, everything I ever did, it was me being stupid, me being foolish. Mom, please, come back. Come back to me. I don't have money. I don't have a house. I can't survive like this. I'll die without you, Mom. I stayed silent for a few seconds. Then I let out a sigh, my voice low and steady. You once told me that life would be easier if I wasn't around. You wished I would disappear from this world. Now, I'm giving you exactly that. I paused for a moment, letting the words sink in on the other end. Your father and Tiffany will give you the freedom you always wanted. You're grown now. This is the most expensive lesson in life, and I'm giving it to you for free. I didn't let them reply. I pressed the button and ended the call. The last sound I heard was Chloe crying, chaotic and desperate, tangled with Mark's furious shouting. But to me, it was nothing more than background noise. That call was the final bell marking the end. It had been 2 months since I walked away from the place that used to be called home. Everything unfolded like a storm, violent, merciless, and leaving behind nothing but emotional wreckage. I reopened the recorded footage from the camera I had left in the old house. The password was still unchanged, so the system continued sending me daily files. The images on the screen left me speechless. 2 months had passed, and that house was no longer the same. Furniture scattered everywhere, dirty carpets, stained dining table. Mark stood in the kitchen, gripping his phone, his face flushed with anger. He slammed the phone down on the table and shouted, "Useless. I just got fired, and it's all because of you and your foul mouth with your mother. If you had known your place, if you had just stayed quiet, none of this would have happened." Chloe sat slumped in a chair, her hair a mess, eyes red. She screamed, her voice piercing. "Who told you to have an affair? Who dragged me into tricking Mom? It was you. You're the shameless one. And now Tiffany left you too, didn't she? You got dumped just like I did. Mark stormed toward her, pointing a finger at her face, voice boiling with rage. Shut up. I paid for your education, gave you money to spend, and now you dare speak to me like this? Who do you think you are? You're nothing but a freeloader. Get out. This house is about to be repossessed anyway. Chloe jumped to her feet, tears streaming down her face, but her voice still filled with fury. You're kicking me out? Where am I supposed to go? I have no money, no home. I've been applying for jobs everywhere and no one's hiring. You're the irresponsible one. Mom was right. You've been living off her this whole time. You're no better than me. Mark stepped back, both hands trembling, unable to say another word. He looked around the kitchen like a man cornered with no way out. Chloe kept going, her voice broken but still filled with bitterness. I sold all those designer bags you and Tiffany bought me. I have nothing left. You've abandoned me, and now you want to throw me out? You're unbelievable. Mark grabbed a bag, shoved a few clothes into a suitcase. His voice caught in his throat, but he still hurled one last sentence at his daughter. I can't stay in this house another minute. Take care of yourself. Don't call me. He dragged the suitcase out and slammed the door shut. On the screen, Chloe stood frozen, both hands gripping the back of a chair. She glanced around the empty kitchen before collapsing into the seat. She pulled out her phone, typed a few words, then deleted them. Finally, she broke into sobs, reached for one of the old designer bags, and began pulling things out, calculating how much she might still get if she sold them. I sat in front of the laptop screen and took a deep breath. There was no sense of satisfaction. Only the truth laid bare. They were finally facing the consequences of their own choices. I thought I would never have to face them again. But that morning, when the doorbell rang relentlessly, I knew some final conversations were simply unavoidable. I walked out and opened the door. Standing in front of me were Mark and Chloe. Chloe wore a worn-out t-shirt and faded jeans, her long hair unbrushed and matted. Mark didn't look much better, his wrinkled suit and dark circles under his eyes giving away countless sleepless nights. The moment she saw me, Chloe burst into tears like a 3-year-old. Mom, please, look at me. I'm suffering, Mom. Dad left me. He sold the TV, the laptop, even took the sofa. He left me alone in that house like an empty shell. She stepped forward to hug me, but I pulled back, keeping my distance. Chloe went on, tears streaming down her face. I have no money, no friends, no one to help. I've been working at Starbucks, standing behind the counter, wiping tables, taking out trash. My hands are full of blisters from washing dishes. My paycheck isn't even enough to cover rent. Please, Mom, you have to take responsibility. You're my mother. I looked her straight in the eye. My voice was cold, but clear. A mother's responsibility is to raise, teach, and sacrifice for her child until they are grown. I've done all of that, and the day you turned 18, you told me the greatest gift would be if I disappeared. Now you have to take responsibility for what you said. Chloe covered her face and sobbed louder. Mark, who had been silent all this time, finally spoke. I know this has gone too far. I know I was wrong. I lost my job, my friends, even my reputation. I know you're angry, but we're still a family, and families are supposed to forgive each other. I'm begging you. Give me a chance to make things right. For our daughter, for all of us. I looked at Mark, and there was no pain left in my eyes. Only deep weariness. A family? You call what you did a family? A real family doesn't use love as an excuse to deceive or exploit. A real family doesn't expect a mother to endure everything from her husband and daughter, then demand her to be forgiving. Mark cut in, his voice rising sharply. But you're the mother. You're the wife. Walking out like that was irresponsible. You dumped everything on me. I've suffered because of you. I lost my job because of you. Tiffany left because of you? How cruel can you be? I gave him a bitter smile and looked him straight in the eye. Tiffany left because of me? You lost your job because of me? No. You lost everything because of your own words in that recording, your messages, the twisted plans you and our daughter cooked up. You weren't punished by me. You were exposed by your true character. Chloe stood nearby, still sobbing uncontrollably. I'm sorry. I truly am. You can hit me, yell at me, but please don't leave me. I was wrong. Please just forget what I said. Forgive me this once. I looked at her, then at Mark. After a long pause, I finally spoke. I've forgiven both of you too many times. Not this time. I have nothing left to lose, but I refuse to give up my peace for people who once belittled me, crushed me, and manipulated me. In my new life, there is no room for lies. I stepped forward and opened the door wide. Please leave. Chloe collapsed onto the floor right at the doorway. She cried, screaming my name in despair. Mark stood silently for a moment, then bent down to take his daughter's hand. We parted like that, without a hug, without a goodbye. Just two people who used to be a family, now no longer bound by blood. I closed the door, this time for good. A year had passed since the day I packed my suitcase and walked away from that house. Now I stood in my small apartment in Mountain View, looking out at the flower pots I had planted myself on the balcony. Mornings here were soft with sunlight. The breeze drifted gently through the window, and the smell of coffee curled upward in delicate wisps. I had found peace after a long road, and this peace was something I had claimed for myself, no longer allowing anyone to trample on it. My phone buzzed on the table. A message popped up. It was an unknown number, but I knew exactly who it was. Hey, I'm really struggling. I know I was wrong. Can't we start over? I miss your cooking. I even miss you nagging me. No one takes care of me like you did. I stared at the screen. I remembered how, just a year ago, he had stood so arrogantly in front of me, scheming with our daughter and his mistress to kick me out of my own home. And now, he was begging like a man with nothing left. Mark now worked odd construction jobs on the outskirts of San Jose. He used to be a senior sales manager at a well-known firm, attending meetings in pressed suits and driving luxury cars. Now he wore paint-stained khakis and ate instant noodles for lunch. A former friend once told me that Mark had been fired from his company just 1 week after the video leaked. His boss was the kind who cut ties the moment there was even a hint of moral failure. Tiffany had left too. She wasn't the type to stick around in a $200 a-week rental apartment with a jobless man who carried the double stain of cheating on his wife and losing his social standing. I picked up the call. His voice came through, shaky and hoarse. Sarah, you answered. Please, I'm begging you. I have nothing left. I got fired. My coworkers treat me like trash. Tiffany left me. I'm staying in a filthy motel, eating instant noodles, doing odd jobs that don't even cover the rent. I can't take it anymore. I miss you. Please come back. Give me one more chance. I swear I'll change. I spoke slowly. Mark, I gave you all the chances. You didn't take them. You and your daughter trampled over me, treated me like a walking ATM. Now you're paying the price for your choices. I'm not the woman you can just apologize to when it suits you and expect everything to go back to the way it was. He shouted into the phone. Sarah, you can't be this cruel. I have no one left. You're the only family I have. I glanced at the clock. My voice stayed calm. Family? Family doesn't betray each other. I walked away so that you and your daughter would learn how to stand on your own feet. And now, you're learning that lesson. Good luck. I hung up without hesitation. Then I opened my phone and blocked the number. No more calls, no more images of the man who once stood at our kitchen table plotting to steal my house and my money. Now, he was nothing more than a ghost of the past, barely surviving in a rundown motel, working day jobs like someone who'd lost all honor. That ending was his choice, not my punishment. I brewed another cup of tea and sat by the window. Outside, the California sky was bright and clear, and for the first time, I told myself with complete certainty, I am truly free. And this time, I won't let anyone take that away from me. That afternoon, I was cleaning up the bakery after a long day. I was wiping down the display case when I heard a soft knock on the glass door. I turned around. It was Chloe. I stood still. She stood still too. Her eyes were red, her face hollow, hair pulled back into a bun with a few strands clinging to her neck from sweat. Her hand clutched the strap of an old backpack. Her faded t-shirt and worn-out jeans told me she no longer dressed in designer clothes. Chloe looked at me. There was no arrogance in her gaze, no contempt like before. Just exhaustion, weariness, and a touch of shame. Mom, I didn't come to ask for money or to beg to come back. I just want to talk. Even 5 minutes would be enough. I nodded. I didn't open the door, but I stood still, listening. Mom, I'm sorry. I was wrong. I remember every word I ever said to you, every single one. I even remember your face that day when you heard it all and stayed silent. Thinking about it now, I realize how terrible I was. I didn't reply. Chloe went on. I dropped out of school, not because I wanted to, but because I couldn't pay tuition. I tried to apply for scholarships again, but my grades were too low. I worked at Starbucks, washing cups, mopping floors. Then I tried selling handmade bracelets on Etsy. No one bought any. I switched to delivering food for DoorDash. One day it rained, I fell off my bike, and the customer canceled the order. I sat by the roadside, wet, cold, and starving. Her voice started to crack, but it wasn't the same kind of crying she used to do. I rent a tiny room now, sharing the house with 4 others. I cook for myself, pay for my own utilities. Every time I turn on the air conditioner, I have to watch the clock because I'm scared of running out of money. And every time I'm too tired to stand, I think of you. I remember how you quietly prepared dinner. I remember the chocolate chip cookies you used to bake and place in front of me, even though I never once finished one. I looked into her eyes and saw a glimpse of the little girl who used to be my daughter. She didn't ask for forgiveness. She just wanted me to know. I'm trying to live the right way now, Mom. Not asking anyone for help. Not taking advantage of anyone. I don't see you as a walking wallet anymore. I nodded, just slightly. That's enough for me to hear. Life doesn't have a delete button, but everyone deserves a chance to make things right. Live better each day. Stand on your own feet. Learn to appreciate what you have. That's the best way to make amends. Keep going. Chloe stayed silent. After a while, she spoke softly. Thanks for listening, Mom. I'll go now. She turned and walked away. Her steps were slow, but she didn't hang her head. Her tears fell, but they weren't the same desperate tears from before. I didn't call her back, but I stood there for a long time. I knew, for the first time in her life, she was taking responsibility for it. I went back inside, locked the door, turned on the oven. Today's batch was chocolate chip cookies, not for anyone. Just to remind myself that sometimes the sweetest things come after a long stretch of bitterness. I stood on the balcony of my small apartment, looking out over the streets of Mountain View as dusk settled in. A year ago, I was the loser in my own home. Rejected, manipulated, pushed to the edge in silence. But they forgot one thing, that when a woman has endured enough, her silence becomes the beginning of everything that cannot be undone. I disappeared, just like the birthday gift my daughter once asked for. But that disappearance wasn't simple. It was a wake-up call for the ungrateful, a sentence for the betrayer, a final reminder that no one has the right to treat love as something disposable and kindness as weakness. I reclaimed my dignity. I took back my freedom. And above all, I found peace in my soul. Peace isn't when no one hurts you anymore. It's when you no longer give anyone the power to. Now I understand. Peace is the most precious thing a person can give themselves, and I did. Women aren't as fragile as the world believes. We may stay silent, we may forgive again and again. But once we rise, once we choose to walk away, that's when we turn pain into power. Don't wait until it's gone to learn how to value it. If you've ever been through something like I have, leave a comment and share your story. And if this story resonated with you, hit like and subscribe to Revenge Diary so we can continue this journey of reclaiming justice for the ones who've been hurt. Thank you for listening.